All right, so welcome to this live session of discussion and hypnosis session on Boone, the demon of wealth. We're going to do something different today. I'm just going to start off with the live hypnosis session. I'm going to do the recording. And if we got people coming in on the second half, we're going to have a discussion on Boone and my experience with Boone. If not, I'm actually got something else going on today, so we may have to end this stream a little bit early, but that's fine. It's a good tribute to Boone. I have a lot of experience working with Boone. I have a large altar here, and Boone has helped me personally to resolve a lot of my problems and have elevated my finances to a whole new level. But before we do that, we're going to get started on Instagram. So let me type in a message on Instagram. Evoking Bune. The wealth demon. I don't have Instagram like that because I talk about YouTube, but whatever. All right, so we're live on Instagram as well. So, hello, testing. Okay, so the mic is working, everything is working. So, like I said before, welcome to today's live stream. The topic today is Boone, the demon of wealth. We are going to start with the live hypnosis session on the first half. In this session, we're going to use the power of the subconscious mind. I'm going to lead you to soul travel. A lot of you say that you have trouble evoking and invoking spirits, and we're going to do that for you. The whole point of ritual is to put ourselves in a state of mind to connect with the spirit. It doesn't exactly replace rituals. You still have to do your rituals. You still have to do your scrying. You still have to do your exercise. You still have to make a lot of offerings and practice as an operator and a black magician. But this is going to enhance your practice as a ceremonial magician and through hypnosis. And it's not just me hypnotizing you, right? It's not just bare bone hypnosis. It's the kind of hypnosis I do. I've already connected with the spirits before. I've a lot of experience working with Boone. I've connected with Boone before the session started, and Boone has agreed very generously to help you through me to meet with her. This meeting is already arranged, and either this is on live stream or on a recorded on a recording on later dates. Boone is going to bring her follower to me to bring her follower to her through me through this hypnosis session. All right, same as the brainwaves, same as the other product I put out. Is because the spirit asked me to do this. Me being the representative and envoy of the spirits on earth. This is one of the things I do for them, and yeah. So for those of you who have never experienced hypnosis before, don't worry. This is not stage hypnosis. I'm not going to make you do things, but I do have a lot of experience with hypnosis. Been doing this for more than 20 years now. I actually wrote a book on a lot of techniques that you use, and okay. So recently I've been teaching hypnosis at the college too. So don't worry. I have a lot of experience and knowledge in conducting hypnosis, and I feel that the spirits asked me to do this as to use my skills and my training and my background and put me in this position to help them, to help you, right? So I am really a messenger. I'm a conduit. And, a lot of people say, oh, you're so powerful, and, you're a great magician and things like that. Well, I first say thank you for the compliment, but I always reply by saying, oh, I am just a messenger. Um, I'm here to deliver a message from the spirit, either through my action or through my speech or through my writing. And I'm also a messenger to deliver the message to you, to the spirit, and whatever outcome that may or may not come through my magic and rituals and hypnosis. That is 100% the spirit's decision and the work of the spirit. All I do is deliver. It could just be message, or I could be delivering the energy, or the spirit could just use my skill. Right now, for example, right now as a hypnotist, to help them help you, or sometimes they will ask me to use my skill and knowledge specifically at the moment in time to help whatever devotee that was brought to them through me. There were times before. I still have this offering right now on my store to answer a specific questions, to channel the spirit to answer a question. And from time to time, right, like people would ask me a question about finances and whatnot, and through the spirit, they will also ask me to deliver answer that I have knowledge of. There were a few times where people asked me, should I invest in this opportunity, and it was meant to be a channeling question. And when I look at whatever opportunity or the advertisement of the opportunity, I see it and I immediately know that is a Ponzi scheme, right? Like, and that is one way of delivering a message that the spirit will brought somebody to me just to use my expertise and knowledge at the time and deliver back a message and say, no, don't invest in that. It is a Ponzi scheme or whatnot. Or there was this time somebody asked me if they should spend $5,000 on a course, on a e-course on how to make money. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, that's one of those pyramid scheme when you buy into it and then they have to recruit other friends to join the club or whatnot. Um, so there are different ways of delivering messages for the spirit through sometimes through my action, like um if I money is like investment is not just an investment, right? Money is not just money. Job is not just somewhere you go and collect your paycheck, right? um Even though most of the time is financially rewarding working for the spirit, but they put you in that position to use you to make whatever changes, or to execute whatever plan the spirit have in mind in this world, right? So that's the way I do it. And if you are learning to become a magician or a ceremonial magician or even a witch, right? Um, this is why I said that the more you align yourself with the spirit, the better your experience is, right? Of course, when you started, all your wishes is going to be very selfish. Makes sense. All your wishes will be in the beginning will be like, okay, I want to win the lottery, or I want to just have money coming to me. I don't care what, and you'll be very specific about what you want, right? Or I want to, date this specific person or love spell or whatnot, or I want a rich girlfriend or boyfriend or whatnot. That's fine. But like I said before, if you want to level up in your magical practice, if you want to level up as a witch, the more you align with the spirit's purpose, the better. Like, for example, if your wish is for money and luxuries, for example, today, if you just want like a Chanel bag to show off or whatnot, okay, they may help you a little bit. They may get some coupons here and there. But if your wish is to, well, if you let yourself to let the spirit use you, then you'll find the process to be a lot smoother, um, a lot more rewarding, both monetary and spiritually and growth wise, right? Like, you don't just do a job to collect paycheck. When you do your job, you are also growing, right? You're meeting people, you are expanding your skill, you are learning new things, and those are all part of the blessings that the spirit could bestow upon you. And of course, at some point as you work, you may come across a Chanel bag. Maybe your clients would just give it to you. I have been gifted a lot of luxury items. Um, or you may come across something that is even better than the bag or whatnot. Hey, Juan on Instagram, come on to YouTube. We have much better sound quality there. Unfortunately, I don't have a mic for my Instagram. I'm just talking into the phone, so um, it's going to sound a bit off. Hey, Dixie Wimmer, good to see you here. Oh, Dixie Wimmer, you're also a devotee of Boone, right? You worked with Boone before, so you're going to like this session today. I'm actually feeling a bit off today, so we are going to go into the hypnosis session pretty soon. And if I see you on the other end of the hypnosis session, we can talk more about Boone. Oh, so before I forgot, I just want to share this one observation I have with Boone. Uh, uh, okay, so like if you want to take away a very unique property of Boone is I call this the Boone hump. It's going to, when you start it, it's going to be a little rough, and when Boone Boone is just like any other spirit, especially a demonic one. Um, it's going to be very chaotic, and one of the chaos. Okay, so Dixie Wilmer said, yes, Boone was my first spirit that I evoked. Um, the first one I work with on a long-term basis. Okay, oh, that's great. So I noticed this thing. I'm going to coin it the. Hey, we are also on YouTube, my friend, on Instagram. We have a much better sound quality there. Join us on YouTube, okay? Um, so this the Boon hump is it's going to start off normal. You're going to start making money, and then there will be like a humiliation hump. Like something that you do will be dragged across the street, and it will sound really bad. Um, I myself, I could go back to a. This is an extension of the story that I've told, right? So I'm like I write some, questionable content on Amazon and I sell. Let's just call them romance action novels. Okay, this is not really explicit because there's a limit on how hard, excuse the pun, that you can go on Amazon. If your writing is too explicit, you'll either be shadow banned, like nobody could search your book, or they will outright ban you. But so it's kind of like romantic action. I would call it that way. Um, a lot of the the hanky panky, let's put it that way, are implied but not written out loud. So this happens a long time ago. This is actually before the pandemic. Um, so one of my books I published. Oh, that was also the same book that my editor quit on me because she said it's just too explicit. Like she can edit something so hardcore, which I didn't even write anything hardcore on it. But like but in any case, um, my book was picked up by an YouTuber. Um, I didn't even know any of this, and he was talking about like explicit content on Amazon, and then he said, this is basically porn, and then like he reads out passages of my book on his stream or on his video. Um, and he at the time he had like 2 million subscribers. I don't know what happened to him now, but like he would read up passages and try to make fun of me and my writing. And I was writing in like a pen name, right? Like nobody really know that was actually me, right? But like he was like picking it out and reading it out loud, and he was like, "How is this not porn?" Blah blah blah. That was he was it was meant to be funny, and the video itself got like after a week it has like a million hits or something like that. So it was a very popular YouTube video. Um, of course, I didn't know what was happening, right? But like my sales spike, it went off the roof. Um, and then eventually some of my reader found me, and then they sent me a message, and they say, "Yeah, this YouTuber is making fun of you." I was like, "What?" And then I went and looked it up, and just like any other YouTube, infamy, it dies down after a few weeks. But it was the best selling. It actually made the Amazon best selling list for like a brief period of time. So I made some money out of that book for royalty, but not just that time, but like some other instances when I work with Boone, um, there will be like a strong chaotic period where uh, you will feel humiliated for something. It wasn't like really bad humiliation. Oh, another witch that I know, she worked with Boone, and this happens in another city, and she's actually very good at what she does. But at some point when she was taking off, um, a rivalry or whatnot, got a hold of some of her cell phone record. I don't know how it went down, but like a lot of her personal life was posted on Instagram, and it and a lot of her family life and private affairs were put to be judged in the public. So it was a hard time for my friend, the witch. But eventually, the person who was posting those private messages got banned on Instagram, and there was also how she got like from marginally well known to very well known in the social media. So it's like a hockey stick growth pattern for her. So hey Instagram, we're also on YouTube, so come on to YouTube. So I don't know if that's a warning or it's like something to be aware of. But at the end, like nobody remembered that YouTube video. I got a lot more readers. I got a lot of. I make a lot more royalties on that. So I made money, and my friend also are doing very well in her business and her witchcraft practice. So another no. So this is like long. This is even before me becoming professional black magician, right? I also have a friend who worked very closely with Boone, and she was in the Amazon publishing space too. And she used to be on YouTube, but no, I don't see her around anymore. I think she closed her channel or something. But yeah, so she was kind of active on YouTube, but like at some point, she was also doxxed by like a rival YouTuber, and a lot of her personal life was exposed, and she wasn't very happy about that. But like through that doxing, it was like a really hard dox too. Like it kind of doxed like her personal information, but through that doxing, she also received a lot of publicity from her real life work, and she was making a lot more money in her real life work than her occult life, right? So, and she actually ended up making money from that doxing, and nobody remembers the doxing anymore. But her career was geared up to the next level. Um, so just like anything demonic, chaotic, or even angelic, right? The chaos itself feels like the end of the world. But after a few weeks, it's going to pass, and you'll be in a better position. So this is one of the properties of Boone. So Dixie Wimmer said, would say my current job was partly due to Bune. That's great. That's great. And the other parts due to Saturn. Okay, wow. That's great. Saturn and Bune is a good combination. What kind of job is so any Saturnian jobs? It will be like a kind of like a daily grind kind of job. Is it a bit boring kind of job? Oh, let's just put it this way: like whatever job that you're doing, like you are not doing this to become famous, right? You can still make a lot of money as a Saturnian job, but it's not like glamour kind of job, right? I do international tax planning for rich people. Okay, nice, nice. So it's accounting. So it's a bit Saturnian, right? Like it's daily grind, attention, a lot of attention to details, not a lot of gory, that kind of thing, right? But Boone would balance it off. Boone is more of a wealth and luxury kind of spirit. Um, from my research, so Boone is actually French. I was doing a scholarly trace, and most of the folklores and grimoires origin from central northern France. Um, so it makes sense that a French spirit would be into luxury and good taste and elegance and stuff like that. So you work with Boone for a lot of for money. He or she would also bestow upon you like luxury, um, fine art, fine taste, and it will elevate yourself to become more eloquent and charismatic and a good speaker. So Dixie Woman said yes. So Dixie, I don't know if you do a lot of speeches or talk to a lot of people. You may also consider, add that dimension to your career if you work with Boone, or maybe become like to start off with like a professor or a lecturer. It was something that you can be eloquent about. It will maximize the ability for Boone to influence your work. So Dixie Women said, I do not do a lot of speeches, but I write a lot. Okay, I'm just saying, maybe it's something you can look into that would open more doors to you. I would love to give lectures at university. Yes, I just heard that like a Arabic or Arabian proverb is that it opens door to an empty room. Yeah, but no. So yeah, so it would help. Maybe speak at conferences or something, or you may not even be like have to be accountancy or tax planning, right? You can expand your knowledge to something else, or have a YouTube channel or something like that, where you'll be in the spotlight. Even though it's a kind of like a strange combination for Boone and Saturn, but whatever works, right? Um, Also, because you are in a Saturnian major period in your life, right? That's what I remember. So it works. Whatever works. Um, so any questions about Boone and occultism or black magic or witchcraft before we start? So the plan is I'll do the hypnosis part, and then I'm gonna do afterwards, if we have time with more people, then we can have more of a discussion on Boone. Well, whatever beyond what you can read on grimoires. So if you're wondering, like, what should you offer Boone, right? It will be like if you work with wealth spirits, it's given that you need to put something high end on the altar. Like they will appreciate anything you give them, but they're also used to luxury and high-end offerings. So you kind of have to keep up. So I don't want to say it's competitive, but it's kind of is, Like if you want the attention of a high-level spirit, you are always competing with other black magicians. You may not have, so like when you started, when you're still young, right? It's understood that you don't have tons of diamonds to put on the altar, but you may able to compensate that by being creative in expanding Boone space. Um, like you said last week, dedicate your thesis to Boone. Um, make broaden their appeal to the mass, and that will make yourself useful. Or if you find out what Boone's plan in this world, or put yourself in a position where you can be a conduit for Boone, right? Like for example, as an international tax attorney or tax planner, um, you will come across people that need tax planning, and maybe one of those clients that you meet was a devotee of Boone or somebody that Boone likes, and Boone is going to speak through you to help that client to achieve him or her goals, or maybe you are just a conduit for that rich person to achieve Boone's objective in this world. I mean, anyways, if you do that, Boone is going to reward you for that. So, look for these opportunities. All right. All right. So, any other questions before we start the hypnosis session? So, once we start the hypnosis session, I'll be focusing on the script and going through that, and I wouldn't be able to read anything that comes up on the chat box. And you can still write in your questions or have the comments, and read them on the other side of the session, which is going to be around 30 minutes or so. All right, so let's move on to the hypnosis session. Okay, welcome. This is a hypnosis session for Boone. In this hypnosis session, we're going to evoke Boone. We're going to have a conversation with her, and then you're going to receive some blessings from Boone. I've already evoked Boone before this session started, so she's been expecting us. She's expecting you, even if you are listening to this on a recording. Boone brought you here through this interaction. You in a way is you are expected by Boone. Okay. All right. So I want you to listen to my voice and trust my voice completely. As you breathe in slowly and breathe out even more slowly and steadily, you allowed my words to sink deep inside your subconscious mind. With every breath you take, my voice moves deeper inside you, filling you with calm, heavy relaxation. I'm taking you deep into hypnosis right now, and you will follow my voice and let my energy flows inside you. Begin by releasing tensions on your forehead and feel my voice and my energetic touch soothing every line and every muscles, and every tension melting away under my energy. Feel your eyes grow heavy and heavier, and allow yourself to sink down in a deep, satisfying relaxation as it spreads through your scalp and brain. My voice is giving you a deep massage in the brain, slow, powerful stroke of golden energy is pressing deep inside you, pushing out all stress, all resistance. Feel it. Feel my energy inside you, organic and complete, turning every part of your mind into blissful, tingling softness. Now, I want you to drop your shoulders. Let them fall heavily as my touch commands them to release. Your arms grow loose and limp, heavy, sinking down as my energy flows through them, warm and commanding. Feel my breath on your neck, my energy moving deep inside your chest, filling your heart with deep love and blissful vibration. You are safe. Your torso softened completely, in your stomach and your lower back. All tension pushed out as my touch reaches deeper inside you. Your hips and thighs grows heavy and warm. Feel my energy sinking down through your legs, your knees, your calves, all the way down to your feet. Every muscles relax. You are drifting and sinking deeper now, falling into a beautiful organic relaxation. Feel my energy inside you growing, spreading warm and golden light through your entire body. Feel the blissful tingle, the satisfying vibration coming stronger with every breath. You are now sinking, drifting, floating into astral space. Follow my voice. My energy inside you is taking you there. You're coming with me into the realm of Bune, completely relaxed, open, and ready. Trust my voice. Let go completely, deeper and deeper, more blissful, coming all the way down into this deep, hypnotic state where only my voice, my energetic touch, and Boone's golden light exist. And now you rest so deeply, you will go even deeper for me. Trust the sound of my voice. And with each number I speak, feel this warm growing, taking you deeper and deeper into trance. 10, sinking now, heavier and heavier. Feel my touch moving through every cell. 9, deeper and deeper. Feel my energy inside you blooming with blissful warmth. 8, drifting through time and space. 7, feel this energy inside you growing strong, becoming more organic. 6, coming down even deeper now, a beautiful tingle spreading through your entire being. You are drifting through shimmering veils of time and space, floating effortlessly to the elegant realm of Madame Bune. Feel my touch guiding you, my energy deep inside you, connecting you to her golden frequency. 5. Halfway down, so blissful and so open. 4. My voice inside you grows stronger. You are safe in my guidance. 3. Drifting faster now through astral currents. My energy vibrating deep inside you. 2. Almost there now. Feel the warm golden light begin to surround you. The scent of roses and luxury already touching your soul. 1. All the way down now, completely deep and open. You have arrived. Duchess Boone awaits you in her opulent salon. You are ready to meet her. You are ready to receive her energy and her guidance. Come with me now. I am Dion, your spirit guide in the astral realm, with my long flowing hair and eyes wise, and my wise eyes behind my elegant glasses. Gently take your hand in mine, smiling with quiet confidence. Dion raises his other hand and opens a shimmering astral portal before you. Through the veil, you see soft, golden light bathing in an opulent realm, carrying the rich scent of fresh roses and sacred oud. You hear the delicate sound of champagne bubbles and distant classical string dancing in the air. As you step forward with Dion, the cool touch of silk brushes against your skin, and your feet meet with the smooth perfection of polished marble and antique floors. You step inside Boone's elegant domain, and the golden circle closes softly behind you, sealing the space in perfect protection and sacred privacy. Still holding your hand with a steady, reassuring warmth, Dion guides you through the luminous hall of this timeless Parisian salon that exists between the worlds. The air itself feels luxurious and alive with possibility. As you walk together with Dion, the golden light grows richer and more radiant, and at the end of the grand galley, seated with sovereign grace, awaits Duchess Boone, breathtakingly elegant. She has golden hair and dressed in flowing couture that shifts like liquid starlight and gold. Dion gently squeezes your hand, offering one final encouraging nod as the goddess of wealth, luxury, and beauty turns her cognac and golden eye toward you in a warm and magnetic smile. She is ready to receive you. Hand in hand with Dion, you feel completely safe as he guides you through the elegant corridors and fragrant roses garden and fragrant rose garden courtyard that leads to Duchess Boone's opulent salon. The night blooming roses release a deep, velvety perfume, while golden light filters through ancient windows, warming your skin. With every step, Dion's steady presence fills you with calm certainty. As you draw closer, subtle signs of her presence begin to grace the air. The intoxicating scent of her signature perfume, a delicate blend of rose and rare spices, the soft, musical sound of feminine laughter drift like silk, and the refined click of expansive high heels on polished marble, and a warm, radiant, golden energy that wraps around you like an embrace of pure abundance. Dion, your spirit guide, slows his step with reverence as Duchess Bune approach. She moves with effortless dignity and magnetic grace, each movement a perfect expression of beauty, power, and refined luxury. Tall and radiant, with cascading golden hair and eyes like molten cognac freckled with gold. She dressed in the exquisite dress that seems to woven from light silk and living fortune in itself. A warm and knowing smile graces her lips as she regards you. Dion, your spirit guide, gently squeezes your hand, then releases it with a supportive nod, stepping slightly back so you may stand fully in Boone's sovereign presence. Now see and visualize Duchess Boone stands before you, her presence radiating warmth with magnetic power. You feel her golden energy softly enveloping your body, a pleasant, tingling warmth moving through your chest and hands. With a graceful tilt of her head and a voice like velvets and champagne, she speaks directly to your soul. What does true wealth means to you? She pauses, allowing you the time and space to answer quietly or out loud. Do it now. Consider Duchess Boone's question. What does true wealth means to you? Boone then asks with a gentle elegance, how do you wish to embody wealth, beauty, and luxury? Take a moment now and consider Boone's question. Good. That's right. Now, Duchess Boone want to ask you, what are you ready to do to release in order? What are you ready to release and let go in order to transform your life? Take a moment and consider Boone's question. And also take this moment for yourself to deliver your own message to Boone, whether it is wishes of wealth, fortune, or a better you who is more charismatic, eloquent, and general, more lucky in life, or to receive luxury and all the niceties of life without any blockages or shame or guilt. Have your energy merge with Boone's now, whether you are able to articulate your question or if it's just visions of what you want or a blockage that you feel in your energy field and you want and you wish Boone to remove it. Take this time and ask Boone yourself. whether for wealth, eloquence, personal magnetism, ancestral fortune, or refined self expression. You can see Bune listens with full attention. Her responses arrive in the perfect way for you, sometimes as clear, concise words that resonate in your mind. Other times, Bune's answer will be vivid images, symbolic codes, or formulas or equations. It could also be waves of emotions or kinesthetic sensation of expansion and the vibration of golden light flowing through your body that you will continue to decipher and integrate in the coming days, months, or even years. Duchess Boone smiles with a sovereign wealth and warmth. Duchess Boone smiles with a sovereign warmth. Her golden eyes sparkled with ancient knowledge. Boone said, luxury begins with how you treat yourself. She said softly, her voice wrapping around you like the finest silk. She may offer empowering insights and loving challenges, a vision that ignites your inner abundance. You feel her clear energy merging with yours, a beautiful, tingling transmission of confidence, charisma, and refined power that flows through every cell. In this sacred space between worlds, you are fully seen, you're fully received, and deeply supported by the goddess of wealth, luxury, and beauty. And with a radiant smile, Boone raises her hands and places them gently above your head. A warm cascade of golden lights flows down through your crown, filling your entire being as you bestow the golden crown of abundance. You feel extreme wealth and money, magnetism awaking inside you, opportunities flowing towards you with effortless grace. You sense your senses heightened to exquisite level of beauty and luxury. Your presence become naturally radiant and elegant. A deep sensual refinement spread through your body, allowing you to fully enjoy and attract the finest pleasures life has to offer. Feel this energy settles warmly in your heart and hands, anchoring permanent prosperity and luxury living. Boone then steps closer, her golden eyes locking with yours, and she places one elegant hand over your heart. Soft, rose colored light blooms within you as she grants the rose of influence. Eloquence and magnetic speech awakens inside your voice, while love and attraction, magnetism radiate from your entire being. You feel unshakable confidence and sovereign grace, feeling your posture and movements. Social elevation flows naturally. You move through any circles of charm, dignity, and natural authority. The energy pulsates pleasantly through your throat and solar plexus, empowering your words and presence to open doors wherever you go. Finally, Boone touches her forehead to yours, sending shimmering starlight energy through your mind and spirit. She bestowed an eternal flame of refinement, igniting creative elegance, artistic vision, and sharp strategic wisdom within you. You feel the power of personal transformation, a luxurious rebirth unfolding, releasing old limitation with ease. Ancestral fortune awakens your bloodline, activating a golden legacy that will continue to grow. The light integrates deeply, leaving you growing with inner divinity, refined power, and timeless sophistication. Now, Duchess Bune leans in gracefully, her beautiful lips parting in a gentle exhale as she blows a shimmering cloud of magical golden dust directly into your soul. The dust is beautifully warm. The dust is beautifully warm and comforting, like sunshine on silk, never burning. It is deeply invigorating. You feel the essence of Bune spreading through every layer of your being, awakening and illuminating your soul with radiant light. As the golden practicals integrate, Bune's elegant spirit blends seamlessly into the very fabric of your soul. A permanent, loving bond is forged. From this moment forward, you carry her golden wealth and luxury energy as your natural state. And in this sacred merging, or binding as you call it, you are reborn. In this sacred binding, you are reborn, stepping fully into a new identity as a high class, elegant, and extremely wealthy being. Dion, your spirit guide, now steps forward with one more. Dion, your spirit guide, now steps forward once more, taking your hand with a proud and knowing smile. With Boone's blessing and imprint growing brightly within you, Dion guides you back through the luminous corridors and out of this astral portal, returning you safely to Earth. You carry Boone's power, grace, and fortune with you always, forever transformed, forever connected to her energy. And now, as you return fully from this sacred meeting with Boone, still feeling her golden energy alive and radiant in every cell of your being, you begin to awaken refreshed and renewed. With every breath you take, you feel deeply energized, inspired, and completely uninhibited. Boone's golden dust continues to work its magic, turning on your ability to receive, turning on your psychic ability, turning on your astral senses, turning on your charisma, turning on your natural elegance, turning on your ability to attract money, turning on your ability to attract luxury with effortless grace. Your spirit is now completely cleansed, all energetic parasites removed, all negativity banished, and all blockages dissolved. You feel light, clear, and totally aligned. It is now the time to seize the moment. You are turning on your drive to work hard, turning on your dedication to study and learn, turning on your commitment to improve yourself daily. You are turning on your motivation to work out, to exercise with joy, to eat healthy with nourishing foods, and pursue your life to the fullest with elegance and determination. Dion's wise and calming voice will continue to guide you in your dreams through quiet moments. You will remember Dion's voice clearly and gently, leading you towards love, money, a healthy body, and a clean, radiant spirit. You feel profoundly thankful, appreciative to Madame Bune and to Dion, your spirit guide, for these beautiful blessings and eternal connection. A happy, light, and humming energy fills your heart. You feel joyful, optimistic, and magnetically alive. The portal between you and Boone remains wide open, allowing her golden and wealth luxury flows into your life continuously and naturally. Now, feeling fully integrated with all these blessings, you begin to return to your full waking consciousness, feeling light and empowered at the count of one, two, clear and focused, free, energized and inspired, four, charisma and magnetism turning on stronger at the count of five, wealth and luxury attraction fully activated, six, gratitude and joy expanding, seven, feel your body feel becoming stronger, healthier, and more vibrant, eight, your mind sharpens, feeling more confident, more uninhibited, nine, completely refreshed and powerfully aligned, 10, and fully awake now, present in the moment and ready to embrace your new reality. Eyes open, wide awake, fully energized. Feels good, doesn't it? All right, so take a moment to stretch and uh, and feel good, and maybe have a drink of water. And when you're ready, come back to this room, and if anybody's still awake, say something so I know you're still here. And if you have any questions about Boone or black magic or witchcraft or the occult or life in general, oh hey, people Instagram, hello, hey Instagram. So yeah, so like I keep saying, we are also on YouTube. Feel free to join us over there. It's better sound quality, and we're more engaging on YouTube because I can only look at one screen at a time. So Danny said, I made it. Oh, hey, good to see you, my friend. And Sanegushia, Sangush, Sangushia said, hi, Dion. Please let me know your address where you're living. I would like to come and be a good friend to you. Oh, thanks. Probably not a good idea to give out my address on the internet, but I welcome your friendship very much. But add me on Instagram. Danny said, what did I miss in the early portion of the live stream? We started the hypnosis part early. Um, so I don't know. Oh, we talk about some personal experience with Boone. I talk about a Boone hump that I personally experienced. I witnessed some of my friends who also very close with Boone also experienced. So it's like a period of chaos that brings like a level of humiliation. For me, I had some of my writings, um, you know, line by line being make fun in a YouTube uh, by a very popular YouTuber. He accused me of writing porn, and it was kind of like funny. He meant to be funny, and that particular piece of writing got like a million hits, not by me, but like by this YouTuber making fun of me, and it's not like really me, right? Like I wrote in a pen name, so nobody knows that it's actually me. But my sales for that book exploded, and so a, I make good money out of that, and b, it elevated my author's profile. And since then, that series got a lot of attention, and I'm still making money out of that. um, as a boon hump, I talk about a friend who's a witch, and in her early days, some of her personal life got exposed. Like a rival of hers was posting some screenshots of her um, talking, some humiliating personal chat. Um, but through that uh, painful, humiliating outing, let's put it that way, she went from she was already doing rather well, and that particular controversy raises her profile by a lot. And and that's the boon hump that she ran into. I also talk about like a friend of mine in my very early days before I was a professional. This girl that I would hang out with, like we practice black magic on each other, and and she got doxxed online. And but as she got doxxed, her actual um, real life career. Oh, we got kicked out of Instagram. You can let me get started. Jump back on Instagram. This is why I'm not on Instagram that much, is because strange things happen. Live. Okay, let's jump back on live. All right. Oh, and so she got doxxed, but then whomever doxed her also doxed who she is in real life, and turns out that she's also a writer, and she has a public profile, and and her public works got even more attention, and then she actually turns out making a lot of money out of that. And humiliation was bad, but then it was a momentary pain. Nobody remembers that YouTube video about me anymore. Nobody remembers the personal screenshot for my witch friend, and nobody remembers the doxing of my other friend. But a, we actually made money out of that ordeal, and b, our profile and our career was elevated through that. So I'm just saying, in terms of evidence-based psychology, we want to look for case studies and tangible outcomes. Maybe this is just the energy of Boone, the part of the pattern of chaos, quote unquote chaos, that we can locate for Boone. So it's one observation I made. I also talk about Boone. We can safe to say she is French. Most of the folklore I found was French in origin, and both Arts Goetia and Varum, Grammarian Varum, were, well, it was republished late in the early 19th century, but it was originally gathered together in France. And and those were the origin of Boone were from French grimoires. So we can safely say, Boone origin from French. So maybe you want to speak French if you want to evoke Boone the next time. So Sanguilicia said Boone is here and I respectfully welcome him. What Boone have to say about me? I'm curious to know. Yeah, Boone was here. Like every time I do these kind of live stream, I talk to the spirit beforehand, and Boone actually wants me to deliver this live stream today. I actually wasn't feeling well. Yesterday I was doing something, and I got totally exhausted. And as I went home, I slept for like 14 hours, and I was still tired. But then Boone was urging me to do this live stream, so she wants you, or he wants you to be here. Um, she just said thank you for your offerings. It is very beautiful, and she just said, you need to work harder. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. That's what she said. Um, then he said, "Wow, I never thought of French before, but it makes sense. Boone loves to connect people. That is very true. But maybe there were some other sources. Remember, things that people write down, like we seems to construct the history only based on what was written down, right? Maybe she comes from elsewhere and it got passed to French. And remember, France at the time was more of a quote unquote metropolitan, right? Everybody goes to Paris for something, so more so than London than anybody else. And at the time, actually, the court in Russia actually speak French, and a lot of Eastern European nations send their best scholars and engineers and politicians to France to learn the system. So maybe there were some mix. Maybe it was brought to France that way, but I never know. But like all I can say is all the sources point to France around 1400s. That's where the written sources came about. Danny said, "LOL, she's probably saying the same about me." Haha. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense because I just receive a message and I just say it out loud, right? It could be for Sanquishia, or it could be for Danny too. Sometimes I become an angel without knowing it. Like I would deliver a message. It was just like something that's very mundane to me, and somebody pick it up and said, that what you said the other day that changed my life. And I'm like, okay, thank you for the compliments, I guess. So yeah, so Danny, why don't you share some of your experience working with Boone? Anyone else still with me? Dexy Wormer, are you still with us in the chat? Well, thank you for whomever liked this chat. Much appreciated. Boone has been one of my deepest connection as well. That's great. Yeah, I have a large altar with Boone, and I put a lot of very valuable stuff on there. Don't say this to anybody, but I have a large cash altar. When I was sharing a house, a lot of my roommates give me cash for whatever reason. People in Germany, of how advanced that country is, they don't like bank transfers. They don't like credit cards. They do everything by cash. Huh? So like I have some German roommates, and they pay cash. I have like international roommates. Before they can set up a bank account in the US, they pay me by cash. So it's not like I have a lot of cash. I pay their part of the rent through my bank accounts, but like I just end up with a large pile of cash, and I load that all to Boone's altar. Boone, yeah. So Danny said we have been working back and forth trying to create the best plan for myself. These days, I make weekly offerings of money, gemstones, or oranges and other orange fruits. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of spirits like citrus fruits. Um, I know in Taiwan, uh, not so much in China. Remember China, they went through like a period of destroying religion and superstitions and heritage. So not so much in mainland, but like I see it in Taiwan where they put oranges on the altar and then they just like a stick incense. They just stick the incense, like free incense, into the orange itself, and then they light the incense. So yeah, so that's one way of doing citrus offering. Then he said, "Oh, I want to try that next." Yes, like sometimes when you travel the world, you also look at how people worship their deities. You learn from that. So this is why Western ceremonial magic, or quote unquote black magic, is so powerful. It makes everything obsolete, right? Because it could there's like this basis of evocation, and then you can adapt and adopt any other kind of practices into it. Like whatever looks good and 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 looks convenient, you can use because in other cultures, right? A lot of their practices was developed from poverty. Like people do whatever they can to worship and work with the deities. I know a lot of Americans call it kitchen sink magic or kitchen sink witchcraft. Like whatever you can find in your kitchen, you use, and those are great inspiration, right? Like it's kind of like watching TikTok videos on how to manage your life better, like like how to clean your room and things like that. You learn that and you use it yourself. Hey, Saxon said, "Hey, it's been a while. Hey, good to see you, my friend. Hey, Doc Kisses, Ashley, good morning. Good to see you here. Have you already did the session with Bunyad? Yes, we did. You can always come back when the live session is done and you can rewind. You can rewind to where we started. So yeah, so Danny here works a lot with Boone, and Saxon, you also work with Boone, right? Doc Kisser said, "Okay, I will check out the replay." Yes. Saxon said, "Good to hear from you too." Yes. So everybody, if you have not noted yet, Saxon is a internationally famous male model. Saxon said, "Yeah, sometimes." Yeah, I thought it was a slow day to start, so we just started with the session because nobody was in the room. Uh, so, like Danny said, put something very valuable on the altar. So, like one day when we transition to afterlife, and you become like a demigod or an angel or demon or whatnot, you really, when you pick a specialty, you want to pick like a wealth spirit because you're going to get better offerings. It's kind of like when you pick a major, right? Not to make light of other academic disciplines, but when you pick business school, I don't know what kind of job you're going to get, but like at least during the time you're in business school, you get like the the best that the university has to offer. So yeah, so one day we're going to die, and pick the path to be a wealth demon. Oh, hey, Instagram. We have friends on Instagram. Hey, Instagram. We are on YouTube too. We're having a discussion on Boone and Black Magic. Why don't you guys join us on YouTube? It's just better sound quality here, and I can pay more attention to the chat. So, Saxon, have you share a story that you had with Boone? Actually, have you worked with Boone before? So yeah, quiet date. That's fine. It's getting warmer here. Oh wow, it's 29 degrees Celsius. So it's almost 90 degrees right now outside Fahrenheit. Danny said, after an offering I did to Boone, my cousin invited me to a private business networking group. Then from that group, I met a global philanthropist who also offered me membership to his group. Oh wow, that's great. That is great, my friend. So another sign and proof that Boone is doing good for his devotees, and black magic really works. Saxon said, I work with her, yes. Saxon mean Boone, right? And Boone's way were more of connecting you with people or having small services given to you by someone, which obviously were financially rewarded. Yes, that's great. So, like Saxon and Danny, you guys experience a common blessing from Boone. So this is great. When these coincidence happens to just one person, you can just brush it off um, as a coincidence, right? But like if it happens to a lot of people who do the same thing, we can correlate a pattern there. Danny said Boone also finds ways to lower costs of going out for these connections. Yes, that's true. If I meet a business prospect at his bar, my drinks got written off for free. Oh, nice. Or I get a much lower bill than expected. Yes, that's true. Sometimes we work with well spirits and we expect a big check falling on the laps, right? But money, money is also how much you save and how you don't need to spend that much to achieve your goals, and how you know something that would cost you a lot more to acquire uh, now doesn't cost you anything, right? So like sometimes people say, "Oh yeah, this spell doesn't work," but I say, "You look at your life. Did you not achieve the things that you want, and did you not enjoy a lot of niceties in life without paying for it, right?" Um, Also, like we've all experienced something like this, right? When you're really unlucky with money, it's not just money doesn't come, right? You have sometimes you have to pay for things twice, or the things you buy doesn't work, or you need to get a refund, and they're not in the mood of refunding, and it's just frustrating, right? So having a smooth experience with money, that in itself is a blessing. Dark Kisses said, I don't think I've worked for Boone. I left an offering one time for Boone when I was doing meditation with Lucifer and Boone. Okay, that's great. Maybe you got a blessing, and Boone had helped you and you just don't notice, right? And not that I'm picking on you. Like for most of us, that's also the case. Like sometimes we receive the best blessing and we didn't even know it. Saxon said, haha, this is true, Danny. That's great. Danny said, for I I've always said that Boone is the connected wealth spirit. I imagine her like an oligarch that spends her day meeting with other wealthy people and profiting from knowing them. Yes, that's true. That's true. It's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And also, it's sometimes it may not even be the person you meet opening the door for you, right? Um, Sometimes it could just be like a bar conversation or like an off chance random conversation. You just pick up this one little bit snippet of knowledge that is like a linchpin that ties your plans together, right? Like, sometimes we expect to meet a sugar daddy and he or she solved all your problems. But sometimes the meeting and connection could just be just tiny little bit and then just one thing that puts everything together, right? Danny said, who you know and having the boldness to ask for what you want. Yes. Um, like back when I was starting my life, we have to before this is before internet is what it is, and I have to do books on tape. Remember those? It was actually on like tape, and I was driving, and I remember this advice, right? Practice asking for things, right? Um, 99% of what you need, you cannot do it by yourself. But most people um, don't have the skill or the courage to ask. But it's more like a skill, right? It's more like your muscle memory and what to expect or whatnot. Like once you ask a lot of things from a lot of people, it's just like muscle memory, right? And it was like a early days. It was like a PUA pickup artist kind of line, right? Always ask a girl's number, even if you reject it. Even if you get rejected, you are practicing asking. So yeah, so good advice, Danny. So Saxon, please share your story about Boone connecting you to someone that built your network. I was also told that not that I'm looking for a job. I don't think anybody would hire me anyways, but they say if you like beyond an entry level job, people are hiring you for your network. It's not just you, right? Like if you if you're a sales manager in like a high level um or like a big company, right? You walk in the door with not just you, right? You also have a Rolodex of contacts. You already know who to call, and even in the last company you work with, you already have all the contacts. Or if you work at governments before, you don't have to cold call departments. You already know, who to connect, and you're also connecting the new company to the old company, or the government's position that you work with. So yeah, so going back to connections, your net worth, your network is your net worth. Oh yeah, that's a pretty good line. I should use this. Your network is your net worth. Yeah. All right. Oh, all right. So I said this first. If you hear it from others, self improvement guru, this came from me. All right. So any stories we can share about Boone? Saxon said it was actually around 2 years ago. I was not working, but constantly had cash flow or invitation to go out. I worked with Bune at the time for 21 days. I think, oh wow, that's great. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, so Saxon, you also have the same experience with Danny, right? Like, you got invitations, and you don't really have to pay for partying. You got good cash flow. That's great. Thanks for sharing. And we have a lot of great little networks here. That's great. That's great. Do you guys go to your chamber of commerce or board of trade? I remember when I was starting my business, I go to a lot of those networking events. Like if you join, even like Better Business Bureau, you join one of those business club, and your mailbox is full of invitation to those events. They were not cheap. Like they want your money, right? Also, it's a lot of times it was the restaurants that were hosting these events, and of course you have to pay, right? But like the restaurants want you to be there um, for the event, so like you got accustomed to their services and their manager and their meeting room. So like one day when you become like a big business guru, you're going to host your meeting there and so forth. Yeah, those were fun. Danny said, I was reluctant to go out at first, but like Saxon said, if you accept them under Boone's direction, there's no need to worry about money. Yes, that's true. Yes, and I know it's easy to just say this, but you have to like release the money, right? You need to let money circulate. Even if it costs you some money, just do it. You'll make it back. Of course, be reasonable, right? Like, don't be buying a Ferrari just to go to a Ferrari car club or whatnot. I actually have a membership to BMW Club. I've never been there, but I haven't had. Well, since then I've changed my email, but I haven't received anything from them for a while. Sometimes in the old days, like I know we like to make fun of Illuminati's and cults and Freemasonry or whatnot, but in the old days, there was not the internet, or most people could not pay for classified, or people are some professions are forbidden to advertise. So people join those clubs, those networking clubs, and that is their only way for them to acquire new businesses like dentists or whatnot. So yeah, so like they talk about cults, and but sometimes you just can't live without them. Also, anybody like goes to the church a lot. Um, like I know people that are not remotely religious, and they need to go to their Sunday church meetings just so they can keep up with the clients. So this is a good highlight on the importance of networking. Anybody else have an occult story to share, like a success story to share? Right, here's a joke. Um, what do fishermen do? So the joke is, what do fishermen do in the back of their boat? Just type in the answer if you get it. Uh, One thing I realized, people forgot about Boone's necromantic powers. Yes, it's true. I was going to talk about that, but I thought it would be weird. But thanks for bringing it up. I work with Boone a lot in cemeteries and swamp. Okay. do you hang out at cemeteries? Church is huge for networking and businesses. That is very true. And also, like, I don't know how it is at where you are, right? But most of the time, uh, you cannot run a business unless you are very active in church. Like in a lot of places in America, even in Canada, Saxon said, "True. I always want to try Boone's necromantic powers." Yes. So yeah, it was said in the Ars Goetia that Boone could evoke the dead and channel their wisdom. And remember, in the medieval, um, well, 15 and 1600, it's not really medieval anymore. But but at least we can say during that time, people would evoke the dead just to ask them where their life savings were, or where they hide their gold and the life savings, so they can go and retrieve it. So that is one of the traditions. And yeah, so it was recorded in other grimoires that Boone could evoke the dead for their wisdom and do ancestral path working. So thanks for reminding us of that, Danny. So what do fishermen do in the back of the boat? Anyone? They were networking. So Danny got the joke. Thank you. Danny said, Boone always brings me animal bones to add to my talisman and other work. Oh, wow. That is true. Like these days, the spirits that we work with, especially demons, they were very humanized. Uh, remember, there were a time that necromancy and deity worship had very little sunlight in between them. So, like, if you work with demons or whatnot, you are also working with the dead. Oh, Saxon said, haha, okay, guys, have to have fun, got to work. Okay, well, thanks for stopping by, my friend. Hope you can join us again next week. And always a pleasure to hear from you. And have fun at work. Make some money, my friend. Good hunting. Saint Nagju, Saint Jusia. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce it properly. How to do ritual for Boone? I mean, that's a good question. Other people ask that for any spirits, but if you do Western ceremonial magic, it is pretty much the same formula. Hey, Sandip said, good evening, dear Dion. Hi, Sandip. So, without reading the book to you, you just do it like any other rituals. Well, you open the portal. Well, first of all, you set up a altar in your house. You put offerings on it, and you put the sigil of the spirit on it if you can find them. There's usually a urn or a prayer, or if you read a grimoire, there will be like a mantra that you can speak of. Um, you just speak the name, and you go into outer states. And sometimes you can have a crystal on your altar and you scry into it, which means you just stare at it intensely for like 20 minutes until your mind goes somewhere else. And of course, you have to have good intention when you approach the spirits. And before you do any rituals, you first need to find out everything about that spirit. Just like you meet somebody important, right, or like a job interview, you want to make sure you know everything about the company or even the person interviewing you before you walk into the room, right? Because chances that other person who's interviewing you, he knows everything about you, right? Um, so that's the start. And what can I say? Another thing about ritual is you want to you can articulate your wishes by your words, but sometimes the intensity of the ritual has it that you almost couldn't even speak languages, or you pass out from an outer state. So you may want to write down your wishes on a piece of paper. It's called a petition, just one line or two, um, an honest wish uh, to the spirit, and you place it on the altar along with your offerings. And if you can, speak out your mind or your wishes to the spirit at the altar. You spend, even if you're not doing rituals, you want the altar to be close to you, so you spend a lot of time with the spirit, and that's how we do rituals. Now, the exact rituals, I'm sure you can look it up. Maybe I can write a short book on it, and then I'll send you a copy. That way, I don't have to say the same thing over and over again. So ritual itself is not hard. It is your intention and your connections with the spirit and your ability and willingness to take risk and work hard and do, or your ability and open-mindedness to take a new path in your life that would dictate how much of a blessing that you can possibly receive. Sandip said, one question. You can ask as many questions as you like, my friend. Please feel free to ask. Or if anybody have any specific questions about Bune. So yeah, sometimes I hate to build distance, but I've been doing this for so many times. I kind of forgot what it was like as a beginner. Like these days, when you ask how to work with a spirit, I would just say, well, I just work with them. It's kind of like asking you how to ride a bike, or like, how do you ride a bike in New York? I would just say, it's the same way you ride a bike anywhere. But of course, if you ask me specific landmark on New York, like, do you have any advice riding your bike in Times Square? I'd be like, yeah, it may not be a good idea because there's a lot of people, or ride it after 10 p.m. or, it's easier to just take the traffic lane, because it's easier to navigate around cars than human, blah, 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 So yeah, so maybe you have a specific question about Bune, and we can talk about that. So Sandip, please ask your question. So it has been a good live stream so far. We got the hypnosis part done early. It was a good recording about Bune. So yeah, I'm writing a book about Thai black magic. I will be pushing it out soon because a lot of people have asked, and specific a grimoire about love magic in Thailand. And once I got a proofread and things like that, I put it out. It is interesting because it's scary. Not that it is very practical, but it's scary enough that people would want to read about it. So Sandip said, I'm listening to God Arias Springwave Subliminal. May I listen minimum time, like the 1 or 2 hour for lottery jackpot? Just do the best you can, right? I made it 8 hours so that people could listen to it when they sleep. Like they could just turn it on um, when they go to bed, and then it would like be done when you wake up. So it's more than 8 hours. I actually put like 9 hours or 10 hours in it. I just said 8 hours because it's most people will recognize it as a sleep cycle. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be like homework, right? Or you can listen to it while you do other things, right? Like obviously, you can listen to it as you meditate, or you can listen to it while you do something else. Like I would even recommend that you listen to it while you're actively doing something else. So yeah, I also have recordings about Orias in the live stream, so you can look it up. Um, yeah, I had dedicated a whole live stream on Orias and winning the lottery back when the jackpot was like $1 billion. So yeah, thank you for listening to my videos and just letting you know that there are more about Orias on our channel. Danny said the spirits must want me to get into Thai magic. A group I'm in has been talking about it for a while. We have a Thai couple that have been sharing some lore. Oh yeah, really? What kind of lore do they share? Like it's really scary and really gross the way they interpret magic. They call it a Kong Tao, like although the way they advertise the love magic is really potent. Like they talk about emptying out a person's soul and feed your energy into it. Like they talk, there's a lot of lore about it. I kind of want to see it to believe it, or I want to feel it to believe it. Um, they also Thai magic is also big on hexes or curses. So a lot of people back when I was living in Asia, a lot of people go to Thailand just to purchase hexes and curses, and those are expensive too. Like it is already expensive by American standard, but it is like a year of your salary to purchase a love spell in Thailand, or a year of your salary to purchase a hex in Thailand, or even in Malaysia or like Indonesia. But yeah, please share. What kind of stories did you hear about Thai magic and Thai lore? So I'm going to start with like love grimoires. I'm going to have 2 books on Thai love magic, and then I already have 1 book planned on Vedic, 1 or 2 books planned on Vedic love magic, and then I have a book on Taiwanese magic. It's called Maosan. Um, or yeah, so it's highly regarded in the Chinese world, Taiwanese love magic. So I will have those books out uh, once I finish formatting it. But like most people, like I've been said that most people turn to witchcraft and magic for 2 reasons, right? Like love or money. So I will have another book out on Thai money magic, but also Thai magic is heavily on necromancy. Uh, in that Asian world, is more of a transactional magic, and I guess the scary part is if you work with a Thai necromancer or Thai dead spirit, they will want a lot in return by your offerings and your rituals in return. Okay, so Danny said Para Nang Nang is one of the mountain gods from Cambodia who was later added to the Thai Buddhist pantheon as imperfect Buddha who did not attain complete enlightenment. Yes, a lot of the Buddhist deities um, gave up on their godhood to enlighten, to help humanity, and they were revered by that. Like their imperfect parts, and their their willingness or their sacrifice, their own enlightenment or their own godhood was the part that is revered by um, Thai and Southeast Asian, like not non-Chinese, but like Thai, Cambodia, Malaysia, and Indonesia. That type of Buddhism. So Ashley asked, uh, I can't even pronounce that. Candia. Any infos about her? I don't think I worked with her before. Let me Google that. Have you worked with the spirit before? So it looks like it is a modern, very modern um, spirit that is, shall we say, very contemporary. So Ashley, have you worked with her before? Maybe you have some stories you can share. Danny said, the person in my group said there's a tradition of using deity for love and gambling, but he is very greedy, so be careful working with them. Yes, there's a lot of, like Thai magic comes with a lot of um, cautions. And I think your friend are the good witches if they do practice. Like your friend are at the top echelon of, like it sounded like they are good people and they use like tempo magic. But like the grimoires I'm working about are like black magic, and not in a good way. They use a lot of necromancy and a lot of high talisman that you buy was actually infused with energy of somebody who actually died. Um, or they use body parts in the rituals, which you know, a I don't have access to, and b I wouldn't want to do that. But there are also, but you can also substitute a lot of that with animal parts, which is upheld by the Supreme Court of the United States that it is your right to use animal parts in rituals, providing that it is slaughtered humanely. So, like your food, basically, or sympathetically, right? Like, obviously, you cannot use human in your rituals, but you can like create a puppet for it. Um, Let me just go for Danny's, and then I'll go back to other people's comments. Danny said, these guys use a bit of necromancy, but they're very cautious about their work. I know, Danny said, I know they have Thai couples, is it oil? As well as has a lady spirit housed in it. Yes. I love those oils. I hate to be the one who break it to you, and trigger warning are squeezed or infused with liquid of deceased. So don't open that jar if they give you a talisman. And it's also like the way the person died was, and it's the essence of the energy that they use in the ritual. So like you can't just pick any dead body. Like you have to pick somebody who died before they accomplish their goals, and you use that unfinished business energy in your ritual so that that spirit will infuse with you to energize you to enjoy the life that that deceased spirit wanted to have. For example, if that deceased spirit um, likes to eat, right, likes to eat high end kind of food, but they obviously they couldn't do it anymore, or for whatever reason they were cut off from doing so. And but like they will, the theory goes like they were going to infuse a spirit in you so that you can make a lot of money, and then you will go to that particular restaurants or that particular level of culinary art, and then when you eat, they can also through you enjoy that wealth, or or somebody, a dead spirit who unalive themselves after accruing a lot of gambling debt, and the theory is that they're going to infuse that wanting, the spirit that is greed and want into you to help you win at gambling. So that particular that spirit could get the fix. So like I'm talking about like the lower end of Thai black magic, that literally black magic for them. Um, but I've been told that it's very potent, but be very cautious when you employ that. So I'm only writing that book because like it sounds really messed up, and I know most people would rather read that than like a calming, relaxed, and easy going that kind of magic. But yeah, so I will have like more practical, like the Vedic stuff are much more practical and easy to employ and less scary. Let's put it that way. Um, okay, we go with Sandip and then we go with Ashley. Okay, Sandip said your videos are liminals, brainwave frequencies, and rituals and pacts amazing and life changing, and we appreciate your high effort. Oh, thank you, my friend. Thank you for being a fan, and thank you for supporting my endeavor. Sandip said which pact is helpful for fueling economic and financial desires, earnings and unexpected large sum of money, and multiple sources of income for fulfilling my life dream. Please suggest. Um, whatever spirit that you're comfortable to work with. So, start with, start with the spirits. Any spirit could help you with money or love or whatnot. So it is best to pact with a spirit that you're familiar with, that you enjoy talking to, or maybe you come across a spirit serendipitously, right? Like, maybe you walk around and then you keep seeing the word, bailiff. This is how I got in touch with bailiff to start with. It was like a serendipitous um, meaning of his name, and then and then got curious and I went down the rabbit hole, and then I started working with him, right? Um, I also work with a Norwegian sea spirit called Valamo. Um, One day, her name just showed up on my radar, and then I ran into the rabbit hole, and then I found everything about her, and then I decided to build an altar for her. So it could be a spirit that is well known, like Lucifer or Archangel Michael or something, or when like a word or a spelling or pronunciation that sounds very familiar, look into the rabbit hole, and once you get more familiar with that spirit, um, start working with them and pact with them, and then take it one day at a time. I hope I answered your question. But wealth spirits, if that is specifically what you asked for, Boone is good to start. We talked about that today. Last week we talked about Archangel Sandalphon. If you're in doubt, I would just start with Archangel Sandalphon, and then he will open path. And just like Boone and like what Danny said, Sandalphon is going to hook you up with other wealth spirits. Okay, let me go to Ashley, and then I'll go to FGFG. Um, well, hi FGFG. I just want to say hi to you first. So Ashley said, I would like to work with her more. The last few weeks has been Lilith and Hecate. I really like working with them. Yeah. So actually, I think the spirit that you suggest, so is Rashun, are more like more modern spirits. By that I mean, spirit that come to us, our awareness in the last like 10, 20 years. So maybe this is why I got stopped when you asked for those spirits, because I really haven't worked with them before. Uh, Ashley asked, I know people think demons are just bring money, but angels also bring. Oh yeah, of course. Good point, Ashley. Yeah, I would suggest working with angels first and angels last. The angels are much more uh, experienced in intervening in human affairs, and I think I've talked about that during the Sandophone lecture. That the opportunities that angels provide are much more reachable, and I talk about it's called take home value or take away value. Like sometimes if you work with a demon and if you're not good with money or if you don't have a good control of management or business or whatnot, this money will come and go rather quickly. Like you'll make it and then it will go right out, or you see like a big money flashes in front of your eyes, but you are unable to take advantage of it, or that money will bring some serious liabilities, and after you pay off uh, all your liabilities or whatnot, you end up with less than before. So like angels are better in that way, that you can take away, you can actually take home the money, and it will help you success in the long run. So actually, you're right. Uh, Angels also brings you very good money. Ashley said, Clowneck and Belial have always brought me money. That's great. Any spirit can bring money. That is very true. Because like money, everybody asks for money, right? So most of these spirits, if you have heard above a spirit's name, that means it is already good with money. There's so many spirits that you've never heard of. Like if a spirit just come to earth for the first time, they may not understand money as much as any other spirit. But like if you can pick a name out of the grimoire, that means that spirit has been worked with before, and they have good understanding of human affairs. FGFG said, hello, Dion. Hi, FGFG. FGFG said, just arrived home. Come to say hi. Oh, thank you. Hello to you back. How's your night? Danny said, you're right. Dark Kisses is really about how they bring you the money. Yes, that is very true. Dark Kisses said, I go to Lucifer and Hecate the most, but if I need fast results or protection, I go to Belial always. Yes, that's true. And it's true that Belial do bring fast results. Kind of surprising because he is such a big guy, and you always associate Belial for making huge changes, and you have to move a lot of water to change a lot to move a ship, right? But yeah, surprisingly, Belial do bring changes quite quickly. And also, Dark Kisses and Danny and the people who are here are accustomed to like that. They get it, right? You guys get it. You guys understand that you need to do your part for your wishes to come true. So if you're new here, if you just do a ritual, that doesn't mean that money will just fall on your laps, right? You still have to have that awareness on what action you need to take to make that come true, and that you still need to work very hard for that to come true. Then he said, Belial talks so cryptic to me. I feel he's teasing. Yeah. So sometimes the spirit have a sense of humor, but he's also testing me. Yes, that's true. Yeah, a lot of times spirit, like when you ask spirit for help, they a lot of times in the beginning they're going to look at you side eye. You know, they think you are one of them people that once you ask for something and you get it, and then you cut tied with the spirit, right? It happens a lot to my clients. Like they're going to like right after the rituals, a few days after rituals, they come to me and say, "Oh yeah, things are going so well." And then like 3 weeks later or like a month later, I say, "Oh yeah, that doesn't work." And was like, "What do you mean it doesn't work? It was working, right?" And this, yeah, but like I didn't win the lottery, or like I did not become a doctor in like a month. Yeah, but that's because you haven't been doing what you've been supposed to do. So yeah, so you guys who have been with me for a few years now, you guys understand what it takes, right? And for Belial to work quickly for you, like Ashley is smart enough to know that she needs to be ready and take the chance and grab opportunities by his horn, you know. Yes, that's true. Doc Kissa said the spirit holds you accountable. FGFG said just back from Southeast Asia. Oh wow, where did you go? Lucky things happened, not in money, but the luck transformed from other ways. Yes, that's true. Money is just resources, you know. We want to go after the result. We don't need to go after the resources, you know. Then he said he has made me prove my devotion. Yes, that's true. Or at least prove your loyalty that you wouldn't cut and run or move or just rename your altar to someone else. You know, I think I've shared this story before, but a lot of Jesus's statues and his Caucasian looks actually came from Sol Invictus, like a minor Roman god, and a lot of Jesus's statues was literally chiseled out, like they wipe off Sol Invictus's name and put Jesus' name on it. And for many statues, they did not even bother uh, blanking out Sol Invictus' name. They just add Jesus' name on top of Sol Invictus. So like you'll see a lot of Roman statue of Jesus that will say Jesus Christ, Sol Invictus. So that is one of my one of the examples of disloyalty to a deity. Um, God kisses us LMAO. Everyone thinks it's lottery or Hollywood movie. Yes, that's true. Like I said before, Hollywood movie needs to compress the timeline in an hour and a half. Sometimes magic do happen like Hollywood, but it stretches out over like 5, 10 years, right? Like it takes steps to become successful, right? Like if you want to be a doctor, you first need to go through undergrad and you first need to go through organic chemistry and physical chemistry and things like that. You don't just do a ritual and then next day you get your degree, right? Even though in retrospect it feels that way, you know. In retrospect, it feels like, oh yeah, you know, I got a good break in organic chemistry. I didn't understand some of the concepts, but you know, I managed to do well in the exams or whatnot, you know. And in retrospect, you know, the admission interview went really well, or the admission officer understand where I come from, even though I have shit grades or whatnot, you know. In retrospect, when you look back to your life, it feels like magical because as it is happening when you're young, you feel entitled, right? And you feel like, yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be. But like once you got some life experience and you look back and you say, wow, a lot of things could have gone wrong. And I'm lucky to be at where I am right now. So Dark Kisser says, don't ever cheat Belial on offering. Yes, very true. Dark Kisser said, Belial doesn't make you prove yourself, but he can also be fun. Yes, that's also very true. Danny said, I'm sticking to weekly offerings so I do not overpromise anything and offend him. Like Belial is very open minded. Like he's okay, right? But you know, he keeps reminding me that it takes a lot of energy to move things for you. And if the energy is not there, then nothing is gonna happen. Don't feel like Belial is gonna punish you or whatnot, unless you do something disrespectful. But like if you don't put enough stuff on the altar, it's just things are just not gonna happen. He appreciate you for doing so, but like don't expect things moving. Dark Kisser said, honestly, when we started, I had the same mindset, but now it's really a win just having the privilege of working with these spirits and who they are and what they do. Yes, that's true. And the fact that you have the awareness of the spirits is already a big step up, right? Like that you are aware of Lucifer and Hecate and Boone, it is your privilege. And they must have in some way brought you to them, right? A lot of people went through their entire life without knowing A, who these spirits were, or B, if they know, they never thought of the idea of like working with them, right? Like for the people who are here, like you guys, are already blessed to have this privilege to talk to them or even aware of them or have the idea of doing a ritual and have a chance to talk to them, right? Then he said, yeah, I gave him a whole rotisserie chicken before. Oh, that's great. They made a spread of food. That's great. Yeah, I'm sure he appreciate that. And have you seen good results after doing that? I think it's quite apparent with Belial that if you put a lot of offerings, you actually it's like Ashley said, right? It does work quick. You just need to pay the piper. So where did you go FGFG in South Asia? I really should like start writing books on these lectures. Like every time I do these lectures and live stream, I already done my homework and these ideas are flash in mind. Like if I wait a month or two, I will have forgotten how I got my sources and what I was thinking. So I published something in Chinese just now on the prosperity and abundance spell. Lucifer, FGFG said Vietnam. Oh, that's nice. Where did you go in Vietnam? Da Nang? Oh, yeah. Vietnam is so much fun, man. It's like things are so cheap and the services are so great and the food is so great. Um, I wish, I can have more freedom to travel and go to Vietnam. I could live there. Dark Kisses that Lucifer is so different from than how I was raised. Yes, that's true. Maybe you can share a story, Dark Kisses. After you said how lucky I am, sunny every day. Today when I leave, heavy rainstorm. Yeah, that's true. I guess in that peninsula, it's always hot and humid and raining, right? But yeah, so if you have like 5 days of sunshine, you are very lucky. The weather god is good to you. All right, all right, all right. All right, got kicked out of Instagram again. All right, I think we're done with Instagram. All right, thank you, Instagram. So, anybody else have a story to share, or you guys, if you guys have like hints on working with spirit, we would also like to hear it, or some tricks that you do, or how we call it how the pros do it, or pros versus pro. Any ways you can make your magic life easier. Maybe I just gave a hint on how the Taiwanese do the citrus rituals where they just pluck the incense right on the oranges. That saves some space on your altar. You don't need an extra, jar for it. And it kind of makes your citrus smells a little bit better. Um, Sanguinicia said, thanks for spending time with us, Dion. Kisses for me. Oh, thank you, my friend. Do you have any questions, my friend, or do you have any occult success or black magic success story you can share with us? Dark Kisses said, Lucifer actually showed up in my dream in a ritual. I was still following Christian teaching at the time, and I asked him what he wanted. Oh, okay. That's great. Lucifer looks kindly on you. So what did Lucifer said? He said, I want to help you heal, help you move forward. He listened and shared how people misunderstood him. Yes, that is very true. That is very true. I mean, like I said in the Lucifer live stream, right? Like we are living in Lucifer's world, not Christian world. Remember, Lucifer was the symbol of enlightenment, and enlightenment at the time just means rational thoughts and the abandonment of theology-driven um, world and scientific thinking, right? And if you look around us right now, yeah, sure, Christians still have a lot of influence, but we live in an enlightened world. We live in an evidence-based world. We live in a rational world. So, in very provable ways, this is Lucifer's world, not Catholic world, not Christian world. FGFG said, my spirit guide always came to help me. For example, in the hotel, sometimes some arranged things happens in the hotel room. Oh, okay, nice. Can you share an example? S- Sarah Toro, did I pronounce it right? Hello, new member. Really glad to meet you. Hey, glad to meet you, my friend. Welcome to a live stream. We're all friends here. If you have any questions about black magic, occult, witchcraft, anything else, about the economy, um, neuroscience, day trading, feel free to ask. And and if you want to share any success stories that you have about the occult, please feel free to share. It will motivate everybody here. Or if you have any hints on how you know you can do witchcraft or black magic in the easier way, we would also like to hear. Like, where do you find your candles, or where to find incense that doesn't burn your nose? All those little things that helps us become a better black magician or witch. Feel free to share. We're all friends here. Sarah, can I just call you Sarah? Sarah said, thank you very much. You're welcome, my friend. Dark Kisses said, Hecate and Lucifer, they were the first two spirit to really help me. That's why I go to them. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect, my friend. Hecate, right now we kind of worship her as the god of magic, but Hecate was also demonized, Even as soon as like 20 or 30 years ago, Hecate was a semi demoness. Um, but I think like these days, the best of Hecate, like the public perception of Hecate really changed, and she has become like the patroness of um, magic and witchcraft. Danny said they have high quality wood for great price. Yes, maybe you could expand that a little bit more. Maybe it was a joke or something, but that I've lost the chain of thought. Dark Kisses said I prayed to Hecate the first time she showed up. I was like, holy shit, you're real. You're gorgeous. And she called me when you're ready. Yes, you are the chosen one, actually. You, I mean, they show up at the right time, and they want to help you. And by helping you, they are also entrusting you to do the right thing, which you did. And they are very happy to have you as a devotee. Most people worship them with just like flowers and praises, right? And And that's welcome, but like, you are different and we are different as black magician. We actually take action based on the advice the spirit gave us, right? That's what makes us different from just um, a worshiper or fanboy or fangirl. Let me go through Dark Kisses first. I'll go back to Sarah. Dark Kisses said yes, she was Greek goddess and Titan. She was protector of women and children. Yes, that is very true. Most people have forgotten about that part of Hecate. Sarah said, yes, I am new and I am very interested about Lucifer. I feel so connected. I don't know why. And always sudden Lucifer frequency or as music or something approach me in a different way. Okay. I want to know the reason why. I mean, it seems like Lucifer called me and he's way of something that I don't know. I felt now I love Lucifer. Just okay. Yeah, so maybe that just means Lucifer wants to work with you. He have messages for you, and he wants you to build an altar for him and put some offerings for him. And just because he wants to work with you, you still need to prove your devotion and prove your loyalty. And it takes some time to build that relationship, but that is the green lights to go with Lucifer. So Dark Kisser said, please answer Lucifer. He will be there for you if he calls you. That's great. He's great. Yes, Dark Kisser is perfectly correct. So take this advice from Dark Kisser Sarah that it's a good idea to connect with Lucifer when he calls you. So the joke in the community is like you are summoning the spirit at the same time the spirit is summoning you, right? Like it's more like they are summoning you than you are summoning them. Like this is why you feel that itch to contact them because they are summoning you. And also, like maybe this is how a spirit feels when you summon them. They keep feeling this itch when you call their name, and finally they come to you and say, "What?" Okay, so FGFG says some inferior spirits in hotel room attack me. Oh, really? I couldn't move. I felt the air pressure. There was something. I used my mind and my full power to say out the spirit guide's name. Oh, okay. In the name of my spirit guide, I command you, the inferior spirits, to leave me alone. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. Sometimes a spirit is not inferior, but like they don't have a lot of contact with humans, so they don't know how to act or how to connect with your energy or whatnot. So it's a bit of a rough ride. So if you're like a Taoist priest, a lot of Taoist ceremonies would summon a spirit, but those spirits don't have human experiences like a tree spirit or something. And the Taoist rituals is to humanize these spirits or give these spirits human qualities so you can work with them. So as a conduit, as a black magician, you are going to attract a lot of different entities and spirit to you. And maybe the first reaction is to chase them away, right? But like as you become more adept in black magic, you kind of want to say hi to them, even though they could be rough, right? Um, it's like a zoologist, right? Like an angry animal, but like in time, you want to work with them and I kind of understand them, and you want to invoke those spirit inside you, and as those spirit go through your body, they will learn more about the human ways and grow them as a productive member that could that you can work with. So yeah, so if you're new, your first reaction is to reject these war spirits because they don't seem to help. They bring a lot of chaos, and you don't feel very good. But like um, the higher end magician, they would seek out these new raw spirits, and we will train them. in human ways, and when you do that, that spirit become more loyal to you, and chances that you will be the only one working with them, and they'll give you more attention than, like, say, a high spirit like Michael or Gabriel, where they are, they have literally billions of followers, and they may not have the time to spend with you. So Dark Kisses that sometimes I say is earned just to say hello and tell him he is the most beautiful angel. Thank you. Yes, good practice. I recommend people do what Ashley said, do what Dark Kisses said. That is a good hint, good tip. Sarah said, I brought a red gold candle to offer Lucifer. Will he be happy? I feel a very intense soul pull towards him, like I knew him before. And feels like something lovable was with him. Yes, you should do that. I am so new, I don't know a lot of things, but I want to know why I feel this way. You don't have to know why, you can just feel. Just you just feel and react. If you feel a close bond towards a candle, that means Lucifer is prompting you to offer it to him. So buy that candle and light it on Lucifer's altar, and take it one day at a time. FG said, I think that was a ghost. Could be. A lot of people do unalive themselves in hotel rooms. You just don't, like, if you work at a hotel, they have like procedures set up um, to get rid of unalived um, humans in the room. So, it could be that, somebody had out themselves in that room or other rooms. Yeah. So hotels are not just dirty because of, and also you have like a lot of wanting spirits in hotels. Like people go to hotels to have affairs or whatnot, right? And you leave a lot of, um, let's say, lust energy and unfinished business kind of energy in the room, and those energy get absorbed by a wandering spirit and grows in size, right? So hotel rooms are let's say a gathering place for lost spirits as well as much as a space for travelers. Then he said years ago there was a spirit that everyone was scared of in the house I was renting. Oh yeah, were you a tenant or were you the landlord? But him and I got to be good friends. Okay, so you're a tenant. He still spooked my roommate, but he was a bit more gentle in his presence. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you put him to work. I hope you put the spirit to work. It made me, FG said, it made me scared and nervous. So I better call up on my spirit guide, come to save me. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. But it also sounds like that spirit or ghost see that you are a black magician, and he wants your help in something. So from now on, as a black magician, you kind of have to embrace these experiences and these spirits. Dark Kisses said, it's okay. We're all new. There's always something new to learn about the spirits, no matter how many years. That is very true. Most spirits are blunt and will let you know what they want. Just study them and their history. Yes, that's very true. That's why black magic is so great, because A, you're always learning something new, and B, just because you read all the books doesn't mean you know everything, right? Like even after you reading all the books, you'll always find things that are completely new to you and always new things to discover. Sarah said, thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Dark Kisser said, the weird thing I have experienced in the last 4 years, I've had 2 kids that passed away. Oh, I'm sorry. Show me how they passed And who was responsible is crazy. I found both stories in the news. Oh, wow. Thanks for sharing that. I know this must be hard for you. Sarah said, can I set a wish or mindset, what I need or want, and listen to your Lucifer frequency and music? Yes, you can do that. Yeah, it amplifies your intention and connects you with Lucifer. Sarah said, creator, you're so kind, really is so respectful. Okay, yeah. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you for participating. And you know, if you ever need a green light, you got it to work with Lucifer. And a lot of people here could attest to the power of Lucifer and how they changed their life. So it has to start somewhere, right? And you're on the right path. All right. Uh, we actually doing pretty good. We're live for 2 hours and 25 minutes. The time is almost 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's getting late for our Asian contingent. Um, Dark Kisses said they were not my kids. I was upset at how they show me. Okay. Still must have been a triggering experience, right? But yeah, I guess like the good news is, after all that ordeal, you're in a much better place than before. Sometimes we just don't know how we got here, but when we got here, it's a good place to be. Okay, anybody have okay? So Dark Kisses said one of the boys, his grandpa was abusing him, and the other, his mother boyfriend, abused him, and they were both murdered. Oh wow, that is very sad. And how did you feel when you learned that? It must have been triggering for you. Like it's a good reminder that how lucky we are to be here. Like we say, we're not millionaire, and we all have our problems, and we all complain bad luck from times. But the fact that we're still alive and we are wealthy enough to afford the internet, and we are have a roof over our head, and we're healthy enough to be here, and no random tragedy just thrown up on our way. Consider ourselves to be very lucky. And like I said before, we don't know what the spirits has been protecting us up from, right? Like if you do a ritual and you say nothing happened, that's not true. But a lot have happened. You just don't notice, right? Like you don't know if Belial has saved you from a catastrophe here or there. You don't know if Lucifer have, through chaos or a strain of what you perceive as bad luck, have prevent you from being in a car accident somewhere else. So a lot of forces are already at work, um, for you to be here. So never say you are having bad luck, or never say your ritual doesn't work. So Dark Kisses said, I am grateful they reach out to me in my dreams, but I think they just want justice with my help. Yes, good point. Sarah said, I'm in such no money job. I'm trying working hard, but I'm not getting that much amounts I need. I need Lucifer help me so I can listen to your frequency for that. Yes, of course. It also needs you to do some changes, right? Like if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same result. So, maybe go through your life and see what else you need to do to bring your wishes come true. It's not going to be easy. And, Lucifer said it's going to get worse before it gets better, right? It's like, if you want a better job, you may have to quit your job and go back to school, or you may have to take some risk and start a business. And, you may not get the grades you want, or the first few times you start a business, it doesn't end well, but you have to trust Lucifer, and you have to, take the risk and take the pain, So basically, everybody here already knows this, but you have to take the risk. You have to seize control of your life. Um, that's the only way it will work. So, you know, you can do a lot of rituals. It may feel better for a little while, but unless you do something about it, you're wasting the spirit's energy. So that's our advice. Sarah said, Creator, can you please tell Lucifer that I love him so much? Yes, of course, he knows that. Also, don't get too lovey dovey with the spirits, right? Like, they're not humans, and they're everybody said that to them. They are not moved by it. They want to see you take action. Dark Kisses said sometimes they give you the wish last moment, but they always come through. Yes, that's very true. Yeah, sometimes I wish they could tell us when they're going to intervene, so like I don't feel left in the dark. But that's the way they roll. And Ashley said, "I will always boast in Lucifer. You are in good hands." Yes, that is very true. That is very true. But yeah, so go back to our Lucifer live stream before, or here's your homework, Sarah. Listen to all our live streams. So live stream is good because thanks to your questions, that I could uh, triggered my response to give you guys hints that I don't always get to say it out loud in lectures or in writings. So, but you kind of have to listen carefully and decipher what tips that you can use, and um, how with like the people who work with me for a long time, uh, like me because I'm real, right? Like, and the difference between me and other YouTubers or other occultists is, the things I tell you are tested in reality. So, but then you have to go through all our live streams to decipher the the hints and the tips and what's really going on. Okay. So Dark Kisses said he may want you to do more of self-care and rest. Then they do block you from things not for your highest good. That's true. That is true. So don't be surprised if, um, well, let's put it this way: if you don't work at your current position very long, and that's their, it's like taking away your tricycle to give you a bicycle, but they don't tell you what's going on, right? So, but like the time that your tricycle is gone, you're going to feel very bad. And when you got your bicycle, you're going to hurt yourself a few times learning to ride it. But in the long run, you'll much rather have the bicycle than your tricycle. Sarah said, "Is it dangerous?" Or I just said, "I don't get too lovely dovey with him." I don't understand, please. Like I said, they would much rather you take action than you tell them you love them. They are not humans. Sarah said, "Yes, I'm 21-year girl. I'm trying my best, and I do. Thank you very much." Yes, okay. So thanks for being here. Yeah, learn from. I guess like I'm not better than you, but I'm older than you, right? Maybe you can learn from at minimum. My advice for being an old man. Danny said, yes, rest and self-care has been an area that my spirit have wanted me to focus on as well. Yes, that's true. If you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody, right? Like back when I was in training, the motto is you can't control anything else unless you control yourself, right? So yeah, first you need to take good care of yourself. Then you start taking care of the people around you. So good advice, Danny, and good advice, Dark Kisses. All right. So anything else you want to expand on, or questions, or something to share, or like a hint or tip that you do in your ritual and practice, um, and you think it could help other people, or some story to share. So if that's a good topic for discussion, we can keep going forever. But if I don't hear anything in about 2 3 minutes, we can end this live stream. We actually did pretty good. Like I said before, I wasn't feeling too well this morning. I was just going to drop the hypnosis stream and then go home, or just go back to sleep. But it goes pretty well. We killed 2.5 hours. FG said, my spirit guide always said action is important. Yes. Like that's one thing that you can do better than the spirit is you can do things physically in the universe. So like I forgot which spirit said to me, but he said you can manifest things faster than we can manifest fast than we can manifest it for you. And I was like, how so, right? And at the time I saw a pen on my table. He said, pick up your pen. I was okay. Now move it to your right by 1 feet. Okay. Now put it down. Okay. What does that mean? He said, you just manifest an action that would take us, maybe 10, 15 steps to manifest. Like for a spirit to move a pen, then we have to influence a cat to push it to the other side of the room. And then, another dog have to kick it around. And then, your roommate pick it up and say, what the hell are you doing? And then your roommate put the pen in the kitchen. And then another roommate pick it up and then they throw it in the bin. And then you walk by and then you say, hey, this is a perfectly usable pen. And then you pick it up. And then you laid it down on that position that you put it before. So like this is the level of energy that the spirit have to exert into this world to move the pen 1 feet to your right. And you as a person can just pick it up and move it to 1 feet to your right, right? So like in a way, your physical ability to move things, like your ability to move things in the physical world is something that spirit cannot do. So FGFG is right. Um, they respect your action more than your words. Sarah said, I printed Lucifer's painting picture, and beside my picture is that his painting. There's also his sigil. Okay, perfect. FGFG said, words are useless. Yes, that is true. Like, I don't mean to be mean, right? Like, I see this a lot. Like, people said, oh, yeah, I'll give everything to the spirit. Like, he's my world, blah, blah, blah. And they hear it a lot. And honestly they don't really care for that. Like they care, like I mean, they enjoyed it, but like don't think you can just flatter them and your wishes will come true. You get something, but they need a partner and associate more than they need praises. um Dark Kisses says, I'm picking up your fear, just let you Let your trust in Lucifer be stronger and than doubt. Yes, that is very true. Thank you, Dark Kisses, for articulating that. It is much needed. Sarah said, can I keep the pictures to me, or should I burn, or should I separate the picture with me? Yeah, keep the pictures, right? Can you tell me what I can give him? What can I give? What I guess you mean like what you can give Lucifer to offer. Like you said, buy the candle, burn it, put some food on the altar to start with. Like Lucifer still wants you to build that relationship, right? Like what the spirit hates the most is flyby worshiper. You say you love them and you put things on the altar and say I will do anything for you, and they exert a lot of energy helping you, and then like in a few months, you walk away and then you start with a different um, spirit, right? What can I give Lucifer like offering? Yeah, like I've been saying, like fire is a good offering, food to start with, some valuables to put on the altar to start with. Danny said I have to head out. Thank you, Dion, and I hope all of you have a good day. Oh, thank you, Danny, for participating. I hope you have a good day too. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and your tips on being a good occultist. I hope to see you again next week. Sarah said candle. I'll do that also. Yes, yes, yeah. Just start with that, one day at a time. Thank you so much for your guidance. You're very welcome. Hope I'm not being too mean, just being real. FGFG said, my spirit guide said he doesn't reward people with words alone. That's very true. He only reward those who take action. Yes. And, only in action could you receive, right? It's not about reward, it's about receive, right? Reward is like he tells you, or you get a hint that maybe I could change my expertise from this to that, and maybe apply for a job at this company. That's the reward. But to receive it, you have to, you know, take classes in a new specialty and go for job interview and and polish up the resume and so forth, right? Like those are the action to receive uh, the blessings. But the reward was already given. You just need to take the action to get it. Dakisa said, respect, study him, time to study his history and earn. Yes, that's true. Like a lot of people don't read, they just watch a YouTube video on a certain spirit. I think that was it, right? You can ask anybody in the room and how hard I try and how much work I've devoted to find out the true spirit and what they were before, their name was, I guess, generalized and pushed around in the YouTube sphere, right? So if you are a black magician, you are a scholar. Like, you know, in the old days, only the tip of the spears, like the best of humanity, gets to be black magician. So you don't have to do all that, but you still have to work on your scholarship. I know my Muslim friend, he is also like he loves Lucifer and wants to work with him. Is that okay? Yes, of course. Now I'm just saying that for him personally, yes. I don't know if his family, maybe he should do it for himself and keep it to himself. I can't promise that he will be safe in that community. All right. Anything else? I will give you 2 or 3 minutes to see if there's anything new. I can keep talking about this all day long, but if nobody have anything to say, I will end the stream, and I'll see you guys next week. Sarah said his family very religious, and he did aura like black Kabbalah, black Kabbalah. So also, I'm not understanding what should I say to him, to your friend. Um, just make him feel safe, you know. Well, he has to find his way. You can't really. That's not much to you can say to him. You know, just be encouraging and be comforting to him. That's really all you can do. I'm sure he will come to his own conclusion. He just need a friend, like you know what I'm saying. What is the topic next week? FGFG asks. I haven't thought about that. I'll think about it during the week. It could be, you know, either an application of magic or another spirit that we can work with. I think this formula works pretty good. You know, um, evoking a spirit. The only downside is if I work with a spirit and nobody heard of it, then I will have like 10 hits. But that doesn't really matter. Dr. said, just be honest, respectful, and sincere. Yes, great advice. Great advice. Sarah said, yes, my friend. Dr. said, yes, Dion. Who are you talking with next week? I don't know. You guys have any ideas? I haven't thought about it thus far. Um, it could be a spirit or it could be like a general topic, right? Like, you know, like black magic for TikTok influencer, or it could be black magic for, you know, bankers or whatnot, or it could be a spirit. If you have any suggestions, I would like to hear. I mean, we were just talking about Boone last week, and it sounds reasonable enough. So you know, we talk about Boone this week. Um, and the week before and a few weeks before we were just doodling on Sandophone, and then I realized I haven't talked about Sandophone before, so we did Sandophone. So FGFG suggests Dantalian. Yes, it is a good suggestion. We can definitely consider Dantalian. Not many people have heard of him though. It's always great. It's like a Christmas present every week. Oh wow. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm very glad you're able to join us. Thank you for being here. And FGFG, you too, and Sarah, and I know Danny left. And and I know we have more people here than the people who are speaking out. So if you're still here, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And Julika, yeah, who else was here? Alexander, thank you for being here. And Saxon, I know you left. And Dixie Wilmer. So yeah, Dark Kisser says the archangels. I wish to give you more time. Yeah, we can do one on Hanayo, but then also nobody have heard of her too. But like if you work with Hanayo, you guarantee. Like I hate to guarantee in anything, but like I'll guarantee your success. Of course, you still have to have good intention and work on it, but like Hanayo is very easy to work with. All right, Santa Lion is awesome. That's great. Dark Kisses, Holy Mother. Have a good week, everybody. All right, so So yeah, so let's end this on a high note. Thank you everybody for being here, and hopefully I'll be here next week. And so let magic be done. So let magic be done via Magick, and I'll see you guys next week.